Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Daniela. I'm a veterinarian, and today I am going to cover 5 ways to properly care for your new kitten. So, the things I'm going to cover are vaccines, deworming, understanding the schedule of vaccines and deworming. That way, you know how many times you need to take your kitten to the vet and how to make sure that vaccines don't ever have to be started over. And we'll also dive into nutrition and environment, which is super important when it comes to kittens. So, number one, start vaccines early on, around 8 weeks of age or shortly after your pet arrives to your home. If you have mom and the litter of kittens at home, start vaccinating the kittens once they are weaned off their mother's milk. So, ideally, around 8 weeks of age. The rationale behind not vaccinating kittens that are nursing is because vaccines can interfere with maternal antibodies, and it's best not to have them compete. Second of all, you want to start vaccinating as soon as your kitten stops nursing. That way it can acquire its own immunity from the vaccine. Number two, start deworming early on, around 8 weeks of age, but if you got your kitten later on, do it shortly after your kitten arrives to your new home. Why? Well, worms can be transferred to your kitten from the mother's placenta and milk. So a lot of kittens are born with worms, and or get them right as soon as they start nursing from their mothers. It's a good idea to consider having your vet run a fecal analysis in order to make sure that your kitten doesn't have parasites. Some common worms that we see in kittens are roundworms, hookworms, and tapeworms, and they're typically eliminated with common dewormers found and used in veterinary clinics. Other parasites your kitten can succumb to are Giardia and Coccidia, which are not eliminated by your common dewormers and will need a separate treatment. Number three, understand how often your kitten needs to be vaccinated and dewormed. There is beauty in understanding your kitten's vaccine schedule, which can vary and be tailored to your kitten based on when you acquired it. By doing so, you can ensure your kitten gets its vaccines on schedule and therefore acquiring immunity and getting stuck less times with the needle, which I am sure your kitten will appreciate. In regards to vaccines, your kitten will need to begin a series of vaccines, which can include multiple rounds spaced apart by a few weeks. Let me give you an example. When I see a kitten for their first vet visit, I will recommend seeing them 3 times, 3 visits spaced apart by 3 weeks. And during each visit, I start administering vaccines. And then that way, with each visit, the vaccines are boosted. And by the 3rd visit, that last vaccine will be good for a whole year. I'll definitely make another video with specifics about the vaccines for kittens, but for now, I just want to give you a general idea of what to expect. In regards to deworming, 2 rounds spaced apart by 2 weeks is usually considered appropriate. There may be some slight variation to this, so talk to your vet about that. Now let's talk nutrition. Number 4, feeding your kitten. Feed a kitten formulated for your pet's life stage, so make sure that the bag, the can, the pouch says kitten. If your kitten is less than 6 months of age, feed it 3 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, dinner. If your kitten is 6 months of age or older, feed it twice a day: breakfast and dinner. This recommendation comes from veterinarians who did a specialty in nutrition, and what they have found is that feeding with these types of schedules not only promotes digestion, it prevents obesity, since we see a lot of diabetes in cats these days, and diabetes often originates from genetic causes and obesity. And a lot of times the obesity makes them insulin resistant, but that's a whole conversation for another day. Basically, it helps keep your cat lean. And then as far as figuring out how much to feed, you want to go based on the bag's recommendations. If you toss the bag, fret not. You can always look it up online, and the feeding guidelines will be there. The feeding guidelines will tell you how much to feed per day. So If your kitten is less than 6 months of age, see what the feeding guidelines say and then divide that by 3 and feed that designated amount for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And always feed on the lower end of the range, since you will most likely be using kibble for training and eventually treats for training. So your kitten will be receiving additional calories throughout the day. Number 5, providing a healthy environment. You want to start off by providing enough litter boxes. For example, if you have 2 cats in the household, you want 2 litter boxes plus 1, so 3 litter boxes total. When it comes to litter box training, kittens will usually learn on their own or other cats will teach them. Make sure that the box is big enough for the kitten as it grows. Have your food and water bowls away from the litter box and place a litter box in an area that offers privacy. Just like us, just how we like privacy, so do kittens. So keep that litter box away from highly transited areas. Routine. Cats are creatures of habit and routine is sacred to them. You want to schedule mealtime, playtime, and short training sessions. And you want to do them ideally around the same time every day if possible. Then there's enrichment. We use the term enrichment to describe things that enrich a kitten's life and it provides a healthy environment. Examples would be toys. Your kitten will need stimulating toys that will keep them entertained. Some of the best toys are those that provide mental stimulation. If you have a stuffed mouse attached to a string, make sure to not just give the mouse to your kitten. You want your kitten to think that the mouse is prey, and you want to make the mouse act as such, allowing your kitten to use its brain, pounds, develop savvy ways in order to catch the mouse. Scratching posts help prevent destruction of furniture. And lastly, socialization. Play fighting amongst kittens is healthy. It helps them figure out when they are playing too rough and how to interact with each other. And you also want to allow your kitten to find its pecking order amongst a pride or pack. Although there is a lot more that goes into properly caring for your new kitten, I hope you found these 5 tips helpful. It is my aspiration that my videos can provide you with pearls of wisdom that can facilitate the process of bringing a new kitten into your home. Like and subscribe to learn more about how to take good care of your pets. Thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.